Well, this is something Ted supports. So I want you guys to watch this. I want you to watch him lose his opportunity to win this game. And I want you to remember Ted wants this. He's on record saying, yes, yeah, man, I do want you to die inside a building to an airstrike. Yeah. Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad. Your dad doesn't support you.
You should know. You worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live! Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, episode number 261. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. And today, this week in fact, finally, at long last, I am on vacation. Now, you might be a little confused by me saying that, right? Because I'm here doing the podcast, yet I'm on vacation. How's that possible? Well, I'm getting a vacation from my dogshit co-host, Tanner. And it feels fantastic. So today, stepping in, being a man, we have a returning guest. First time guest hosting. But many of you know him. Many of you love him. The proud custodian of old bitch, Warzone Roundtable, frequent flyer, CopeCowboy is joining us today. What's up, Cope?
What's going on, buddy?
How is life, man?
Life is going for sure.
It's going.
Say good, but it's going.
It's happening. Yeah, life is occurring. Yeah.
It sure is. Yeah.
So I'm joined today by Cope, and thank you for filling in, bud. You can find him at CopeCowboy on the things, Twitch, Twitter, all that shit. And we'll get more into that at the end here. And that is, these are the people that are on the pod today. Now, a couple of things. First of all, we have timestamps. If you're a new listener, you can skip to the content that you want. Look in the timestamps. Second, the people literally. Okay, so I live in a house, my parents' house, and I'm on a side of the house. Another house that is the closest possible to my house, right? Closest possible house to me, to my person where I'm sleeping. Their roof is literally 15 feet, maybe 20 from my body when I'm in bed. Sleeping. Now I say sleeping, but I should say attempting to sleep, because what's really fun and exciting, right? They're getting a new roof or something. I don't know. They're new tiles or whatever. And they start at 6 a.m. sharp and they're done by 8 or whatever. Cool, man. So I slept for like 3 or 4 hours. Don't know when I fell asleep, but it wasn't great. Guess what? When they're fucking nailing tiles off, man, it wakes me up, and then I'm awake, and then I can't fall back asleep. Not that I would be able to anyway, but especially not while they're fucking hammering tiles. So I'm going to be off today. I feel off, very little sleep, and we're going to do our best. We're going to try, and there's some good shit to talk about today, and we're going to deliver. But just keep that in mind. I'm going to fuck it all up in a way that I usually don't as much. So anyways, that is that. Tanner is in Hawaii at the moment. He is also on vacation. He's living the island life at the moment. So that is why Cope is here today. Now, we have, like I said, a couple things to talk about. World Series of Warzone happened, and there's some fun and exciting analysis we can do there. And Cope is a fan of that type of content, so it's good that we have him here today. and some other things to talk about. Not too big of an episode, but before we get into that, a couple of announcements. First, welcome to our new gold patron, Cocky Kev, in all caps with a K. Got it, man. Hey, man, I got it. I don't know what your profile picture is. It's a little boy who has a baseball bat like behind his neck. Kind of like what Cope's doing right now. Except imagine there's a baseball bat back there. Hate it. Hate you. But welcome, buddy, to the Patreon. Our newest gold patron. Very much appreciated. And change it. Now, more importantly, we got a couple new platinum patrons. First, PriceMaster007. Hey, just put the 7, right? You don't need the 2 zeros. Also, change it, but there's no profile picture, which I will take. But the name I won't take. I don't know what PriceMaster means. Are you like a... What's the game show, Cope? I don't know if they have this in Canada. Maybe they do. Where they show you a thing, they'll be like, all right, here's a fucking tractor. And then 3 different people try to guess how much it costs. And whoever gets closest, like, wins the tractor. That's a game show, right? Do you know what... Are you familiar with this game show?
I've seen it. No clue what the fuck it would be called. I do know what you're talking about.
Oh, The Price is Right. That makes sense. Yeah, The Price is Right.
Oh, yeah, duh.
So maybe PriceMaster007 is a professional The Price is Right player. That's the only possible thing I could think of that would make PriceMaster make sense. So, hey, don't fucking flame me for not knowing the name of a daytime television game show. You reprobate cunts. Okay? You shouldn't know what that show is called. And I'm glad Cope doesn't, and I'm glad I didn't either. Why the fuck are any of you watching The Price is Right? Get a job. Hey, drink less. Hey, do other things during the day. Don't watch daytime television game shows, you pieces of shit. So don't flame me. Also, PriceMaster, welcome aboard, buddy. And also, Griffin H, another new platinum patron. His name is fine, I guess. There's no profile picture. I have nothing to complain about here. Griffin seems like a last name, though. You know, that's my only kind of complaint on this one. So change that. But Griffin, welcome aboard, buddy, to the Patreon. I very much appreciate that. And last and most importantly, we have a Dropshot, first time ever, I think. And if it's not, you can tell me. Doesn't matter. We have an annual Obsidian patron dropping a lot of cash in a lump sum to be Obsidian for an entire year. Why would you do that? No good reason. No, just no good reason. I mean, you saved 16%, but could have gone annual Damascus for all the same content, right? But you really wanted to flex, and you have broken a record. Michael Z, also known as Zanoli, who has made some appearances in Twitch chat, holy fucking shit, has done it. The mad lad, the lunatic. Annual Obsidian patron. Oh, I think SP did it first, actually, yeah. Which is also insane. So maybe not the first time. But the second time, you know, lightning is stricken twice, I guess, or something. Zanoli boy, been very, very supportive. Been listening for quite a while, too. Really, really appreciate that. Be more responsible with your money, but we will take it. That's extremely generous, and it is a privilege to have you, King, and welcome aboard. Get locked in, kid. Idiot kid. And thank you, Mike. You are very kind. Those are our new patrons, patreon.com/thedropshot. Early access episodes, ad-free episodes, and also bonus episodes. So on the topic of bonus episodes, haven't done any yet this month. We kind of want to wait till COD next, which is what we're going to get into. Obviously, Tanner's not in town, so we wouldn't record any this week regardless. But COD next is in a week, which we're going to talk about more here. And we kind of want to wait for that, Tanner and I, to start doing the bonus eps for this month, because there's going to be a lot of shit to talk about on Saturday episodes, on Wednesday episode or Thursday episodes even, and on Patreon. So those will be coming, but kind of as always, that's going to be toward the end of the month. And there definitely won't be any this week because Tanner, as I said, is not here. He comes back on a day. I don't know what day it is, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So a couple other announcements. Tanner and I were also going to give away the Vault Edition of the game to a patron on Saturday. We forgot. And it's that simple. So now we're not giving it away. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to give it away, but we will do it on a Patreon episode. It's only going to the patrons anyway. We'll draw it. I mean, yeah, we'll record ourselves drawing it, and we'll let you guys know whoever won for the Vault Edition of MW2. And Tanner and I are also going to make sure that we do it before the beta so that you can get early access if you want that, which you probably would. So yeah, that'll be done on Patreon. We did forget, but we didn't forget. We've written it down. We'll get it done before any of the betas start. So last announcement, Warzone Roundtable this Saturday. We're doing an emergency Warzone Roundtable. Now, why do you say it's an emergency Warzone Roundtable? Well, because Warzone is in a state of emergency. It is on fire. Literally, in some ways, but also figuratively. I mean, it is a trash dumpster fire of biblical proportions, and I want to talk to some members of the community, some of my friends who still play it, and figure out why. I have so many problems with Warzone, as our patrons would definitely know, and most of you who have listened for a while know. I am not a fan of Warzone right now. And Tanner's out of town. I figured I would like to get a small group together, talk about Warzone. Nothing really in particular will be the topic of the roundtable. I'm just going to kind of toss it out there and get things done. And I am excited to do that. I think it's going to go pretty well. As I said, it's going to be a very small cast of characters. Didn't have much time to prepare. Didn't want to get too crazy with the roster. But Cope is going to be there and some other returning faces. What do you expect from the Warzone Roundtable, Cope? Are you excited to get that thing done?
I mean, it probably won't be very... Well, I know it won't be very positive. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But it'll still be fun to get on with the boys and bullshit and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it, I guess. Certainly won't be positive, but...
Yeah, it will not be. We are going to have Boomertown Gaming on, and this will be his first appearance on the podcast. And Boomertown Gaming, as the name implies, he is an old, dying, irresponsible man who happens to be Tanner's brother-in-law, who enjoys Warzone a lot right now. He's been saying in Discord that Season 5 is the best season of Caldera there's been. I get the sense that he's trolling, because there's just no way he actually believes that. So I will be dissecting that statement for sure on the roundtable. And then we're going to kind of talk about the state of Warzone right now. And then also, I think we want to touch on what we want to see in Warzone 2. And that should be interesting. So that's happening this Saturday at the normal time, 12 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be fun. Haven't done one in a little while. It's going to be a fairly small one, which I think can be interesting because our usual roundtables are like 8 to 10 people. This one's going to be fewer than that. I don't know how many. I slept 3 hours. I can't count. Can't do anything. But other than that, that is it for our announcements. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. Let's get into this thing. Lord Byron, the Prime resub, 15 months. Can't afford Obsidian, have to settle for my Twitch sub. No one can afford Obsidian. It's a waste of money. But welcome back. We can all afford a Prime because it's free with your Amazon Prime subscription. Just link your account. Thank you very much, dude, for the 15-month resub. Welcome back. All right. Today, we're doing a podcast. Now, as usual, and as some of you may have come to expect leading up to COD Next, not too much to talk about today. There's just not too much to talk about today. But there are a couple things. And the World Series of Warzone was Call of Duty, which I'm excited to get into. I'm perhaps most excited to get into that. But first, there is a playlist update. Now, normally I wouldn't go over this. However, Iron Trials is in. And I feel like every time Iron Trials is in, that kind of warrants at least a little discussion. And right now, Rebirth Island Iron Trials Quads is in the video game. That, I don't know if that's ever been done. I know there was Rebirth Duos Iron Trials. I don't remember if there's quads. And I wonder how it would play. I think fairly well, but I have no idea, actually. Are you a fan of Iron Trials in general, Cope?
Yeah, I like Iron Trials on Caldera. It's still probably more fun on like Rebirth, but it's just way harder to like kind of go it on your own on Rebirth because the map's so small with that much health. But yeah, I enjoy Iron Trials for sure on Caldera. Probably my second most favorite, other than buybacks. But Iron Trials plays better than Titanium for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah,
just the way that the health format is. I prefer it more, but that's just me.
Yeah, that is not just you. I'm with you there. I think a lot of people are. The Titanium Trials rule set was just fucking bizarre. I don't know why they did it. But do you plan on playing Rebirth Iron Trials quads, or are you always just absolutely not, huh? Yeah. It's a lot different of a game than Caldera Iron Trials, obviously. When's the last time we had buybacks, by the way?
It's been probably 9 months. I don't know.
Isn't it weird?
I was so excited when they said they were going to update the playlist daily. I mean, I think that's stupid too.
Actually,
update it once a week and rotate game modes in and out, but daily is stupid. But I was like, oh, nice, we're going to get buybacks. Absolutely fucking not. We haven't got it. We won't get it. Cool.
You know one thing, though? One of my big complaints, and Tanner's, is that every game now is kind of buybacks already, with all the fucking self-reses, redeploy tokens, gulag extraction tokens. Would buybacks even... would it even
That's
feel
a fair
different?
Point.
You know?
I didn't even think about that, but that is a fair point. And like Lag said, they just did have buyback solos, but it's solos, no one cares.
That's kind of different, yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. It is basically buybacks like as it is now, but I don't know. It's fun just to get like different game modes to play and shit, but whatever.
I would be curious to see how buyback like quads would play on Caldera with all the shit in this game now.
Oh, dude, there'd be...
Would you ever die?
80 people left in the 5th zone. Like, it'd be literally World Series of Warzone, yeah.
Actually, yeah. That would be... I don't even think it would be playable. It would be such a joke. They would have to like, I don't know. They'd have to remove the tokens, I think, to do it. Because how would that even work? Like it takes your token first instead of your money, and then it takes your money if you have no tokens, and then you're out and you can get bought back if you die again.
Yeah, but they can't code that. They're stupid.
I agree.
So, yeah,
I think that's why
they would literally just have
it back.
Yeah, they would just have to take the tokens and shit out, but they're not going to do that either. So
yeah,
I mean, I guess it doesn't fucking matter, right? So whatever.
True, indeed it doesn't. But anyway, Rebirth Island Iron Trials quads is in. I don't know how long it's going to be in for. Probably not long. But you know, there it is. So anyway, there were also a couple little patches in the last week. I'm going to go over those here. So on the 2nd, we got some adjustments to Operation Last Call. Don't care. Never playing that mode, and I'm not covering it. However, supply box UAV adjustment. So basically, when you call the supply box UAV, it won't show the resurgence crates anymore. This is a good change. It hadn't even really occurred to me. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but yeah. Gas mask adjustments. This is something I kind of wanted to hone in on for a little while. Gas mask will now appear in the first slot of the quick inventory menu for easier access during engagements for players using the manual gas mask toggle, which is a new option that got added to the settings for controller and keyboard and mouse very recently. And then they also say they improved the manual gas mask text in the settings to better detail how players manually equip the gas mask. And this was a question I had. It's a question I've gotten a couple times already. And the question was basically, hey, I turned on the setting, but I can't find the keybind to manually equip your gas mask. And I had the same question. So I looked this up, of course. There is none. So what you have to do is, if you turn this setting on to equip your gas mask, you have to open your inventory and then click on your gas mask, and that will put it on. So Tanner and I had a bit of a discussion about this on Patreon. So for patrons, you will be this will be a repeat, but I still think the setting is worth it, and I still have manual gas mask on, and I think it's better. And the biggest reason for that is that you can get that thing on way before gas hits you, and that's what it's most useful for. So, for example, I'm at ground level of a building, enemies on my roof, we both know where the other person is, and gas is coming, we're both going to have to push out. It's very nice having the setting on to just put it on 2 minutes before gas is going to hit me, so that I won't have to worry about the animation as the gas hits me if I have it on auto. I did catch a little bit of the World Series of Warzone, and most of them were using auto, which I found very interesting. But the way I've been using the gas mask is I pick one up and I immediately put it on manually every single time, because it barely obstructs your vision and barely matters at all. So I'd rather just have it on and never have to worry about the animation of putting it on. Unfortunately, the taking it off animation isn't manual. Once it runs out, your guy's going to rip it off, which is dumb. But still, to avoid the putting it on animation when you don't want to, it's worth using this setting. You watched World Series of Warzone. Did you notice what setting most of these pros were using for the gas mask? I think it'd be kind of hard to deduce, but
yeah, I mean it's hard to tell because they obviously hide screens in between games and they don't show you in things, but I would just assume they all used automatic. I mean, they've been playing that way for 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't see any of them changing because there's ways to play around it, and they're all used to it by now. So I would assume they all just leave it on default.
The reason I figured that out from the one guy I was watching, I forget who, but the gas hit him and his character put it on. He didn't open his inventory, so I knew he didn't have the setting on. What about you? Do you use this? Are you going to use this?
I don't use it now because it's kind of like the same thing I just said. I'm so used to how it plays. Just putting it on automatically. I don't. If there was a keybind specifically to take it on and off, I would probably use it, but there's not. So don't care, don't use it.
I know.
And honestly, like the situation you were talking about where if you're on the edge of the zone and there's another guy and you like have to push out at the same time, I'll just run back into gas and get the mask on my face before I have to ADS. And that's just kind of how I play around it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Most of the time, if you're in that spot, you're probably fucked anyways. So
yeah, I hear you. I still think it's worth it though, because like I said, I just put it on as soon as I get it, so I'm not even close to being in trouble when I put it on, and then I just don't have to worry about it. But I see what you mean, because it could be the case that you have manual on, you forget you have it on, you pick up a gas mask, you go into gas, you don't put it on automatically, obviously, and then it just never comes on, and you're like, fuck, I forgot I have this setting on, and now you're dead. And now you're dead because you forgot, because you're not used to it. So I can see both arguments, and honestly, doesn't matter. 49 days, man. Doesn't really matter that much. Yeah. But with that said, if you can remember, I think it's worth turning it on.
I could also see it being a lot more annoying for controller players too.
Really?
Like today, because today we were playing, and it's actually funny. It's kind of the same thing. We dropped a muni, so we all dropped our extra ammo on the ground, and Lag's like, man, I hate how you guys can drop your shit so quick on mouse and key.
Oh, fuck you,
because he has
Lag.
to open the inventory, fucking take his thumb off the stick, D-pad over, whatever. And it's just like, I don't know. If I was on controller, it'd just be more work. So it's just like, I would probably just leave it automatic.
That's a good point, too. Yeah.
Fucking fly at it if you want to. Whatever.
Yeah, it probably is a little faster on KBAM. It's one
it
advantage.
is for sure.
Yeah.
But not that, I mean, if you're doing it at a time where you should not be doing it, I mean, that's just your problem anyways, so.
True. Yeah, that's kind of true, too. But anyway, yeah, so there you go. And then I think we had talked about this, but I'll mention it again because it's in these notes. Serpentine is now only active while in tac sprint. I believe we mentioned this, but yeah, Serpentine only works when tac sprinting now, not just regular sprinting or moving or anything. So there you go. And then there were a couple other bug fixes today, in fact. Fixed additional collision issues. So they've said this in every single patch they've made for the past 3 months. People shooting through buildings that they shouldn't be allowed to be inside of. They're like glitched into walls and the ground. Cool. Fixed an issue that was causing the battle hardened perk to not decrease the time stunned by 80% as intended. Don't use battle hardened. And that's kind of it. Yeah. Oh, fixed an issue causing the sound effect of gaining points as a hero or villain to be louder than intended. Wow. How loud is it now, Cope? Is this noticeable, this change?
Yeah, it's not nearly as loud, for sure. I mean, it's still entirely unnecessary to have them in the game or even make sound, but it is better, which is good. But okay. Yeah, again, doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it matters, but it's just don't have them in the game.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's noticeable. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And again, don't say they were louder than intended. They were just as loud as you wanted them, and then you got shit on, and then you said, "Oops, it was a mistake." Fucking idiots.
Yeah, they just turned the slider down, man.
It's so simple. Yeah. So. Oh, by the way, McBango, what's up, buddy? I wrote this in one document, but not the other one. For those of you who use Coliseum, KOLOSSEUM.co for Fantasy Warzone. One of our own is now a selectable fantasy pick. McBango is on the website, man. You could put Bango on your Friday freebie squad. Bango, you better figure it out, man. You better win me money in real life. It's all up to McBango, first Dropshot community member on that thing. So, yeah, make sure you guys are using him. And then watching him live on the weekend and berating him for any and every mistake he makes. And if he like loses a game, spit on him with a GIF in his chat on Twitch. Pressure him into winning us money. It's really simple. But yeah, Bango's there. Go use him. That's really cool. Those Coliseum guys reached out to me. They're like, hey, we want to put McBango on the website. Does he cheat? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, is he like a racist? I was like, no. They're like, all right, cool. Then we'll put him on. They just wanted to make sure he wasn't like a lunatic. So I was like, yeah, man, do it. So shout out to Bango and shout out to the Coliseum guys. It's very cool. So I wanted to mention that. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Support for today's episode comes from Vincero Collective. If you are not familiar with Vincero yet, they make exceptionally crafted and stylish watches at affordable prices. Other premium handcrafted watches have insane markups, but you can finally own a high quality and lasting timepiece without going broke. And the best part is listeners of this podcast are getting hooked up to save even more with the biggest discount they offer. You need the perfect accessory to elevate your style, your game. For a limited time only, get 20% off and free shipping statewide with our exclusive code DROPSHOT at VinceroCollective.com. Tanner got some shades, some Vincero shades. He's using them on the island. He's in Hawaii right now, enjoying his Vincero sunglasses. She actually is saying he really, really likes. And I got this watch. Check this out, dude. Look at that. Black and gold. Sleek, stylish. Look on the back right there. Got some Latin. And guys, how much would this watch normally be? 500 bucks? It's like 175 right here. No crazy markups. Vincero is a premium lifestyle brand out of San Diego, California that also makes high quality and affordable, as I said, sunglasses, jewelry, and some other stuff too. They're known for their exceptionally crafted, ethically made products for today's most ambitious people. Modern pieces that upgrade your look and stand the test of time. Everything's designed in-house, they source their own materials, and they produce in small batches. For all the boss men and women out there, their watches are a must. They can elevate your look with a twist of the wrist, made with surgical grade stainless steel, durable silicone, and genuine Italian marble straps. These sleek modern watches come with traditional, automatic, and Japanese quartz movements. Guys, you can finally look like a baller without having to spend money like one. They can only offer this big of a discount for a limited time, so don't wait or it'll be too late. Get 20% off and free shipping site-wide with the code DROPSHOT at VinceroCollective.com. Support the program. Use code DROPSHOT at VINCERO Collective.com. I guarantee you'll find something that fits your style. Shop Vincero today. So now on to news and upcoming changes. So we had the World Series of Warzone. We had an event this weekend. It was trios. And I am not following the World Series of Warzone shit very much at all. I watched a little bit of it, probably half an hour of the Call of Duty Twitch stream of the World Series of Warzone. And what this is basically custom lobbies with a bunch of Warzone pros, pro streamers, people that many of you who follow this already know. And they competed in a tournament in trios to see who was the best or whatever. And a team won. Now, Cope, on the other hand, is far more informed on this topic than I am. So I have a couple questions. First of all, what World Series of Warzone events have happened? We've had solos and trios so far, right? Have we had anything else?
No, it's like mixed into the same day. But yeah, it's all over for EU and NA.
So there's no more World Series of Warzone events?
No.
Okay. And you watched a lot of these, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Who won the solo World Series of Warzone event?
FIFA Kill did.
And that's a name I've heard of. Very real popular guy. Is that a Facebook GGer?
No, he's Twitch.
On Twitch, okay. Are you a fan of his?
I wouldn't say a fan, no. I do watch him occasionally, but...
So you're neutral on him, though?
Yeah,
he doesn't piss you off?
No, he doesn't piss... Well, he hasn't yet, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That time will come, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will. How was the viewing experience of solos? Was it as ratty as I am imagining it was?
Yeah, of course it was. I mean, it was fun to watch because it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, everyone has a riot shield and stuns and whatever. And at one point, there was about 8 cars driving around within a 100-meter radius. Yep. It was ridiculous, but it's entertaining to watch. It's funny. It's something new.
Were they using armored Berthas? And like seat swapping kids?
I didn't see any of that.
That contract maybe is too dangerous to do, but yeah, I would expect maybe to have seen some of that.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. It would have been smart, but like you said, just doing that contract in solos, especially in that kind of lobby, is probably
moving your character
smart.
anywhere.
Yeah,
literally is just smart. Super dangerous. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a bunch of cars driving around. Whatever. It was basically the same thing as last year, but. Yeah, it's funny to watch. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
I hear you. And then who won for, by the way, real quick, you got to stop dusting your desk or whatever. It sounds like
bothering you?
No, it hurts me. It's causing me physical pain in my little ears. So you got to stop.
Gotcha.
It sounds like sandpaper. What is your desk made of?
Well, it's a nose pad, so yeah.
Oh.
Just cloth.
Got it. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard. It sounds way worse in your mic than it does in real life, obviously. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Okay. How about trios? Who won?
It was Skullface, Mayapo, and Hisoka, I believe. Pretty sure.
Only name I've heard there is Mayapo. Isn't he like relatively new on the scene too?
I don't know about new, but he's certainly not like a big name. He's certainly not a big name. He's nasty though. I think he might have won top fragger. I think he did. He had like 40 kills or something ridiculous.
Damn. Okay. So was their strategy to get a lot of kills or to just go for placement mostly? I mean, obviously they did both, but like, You do wonder, because in solos, the name of the game is just don't die. Like, that's kind of obvious. But trios, I could see different strategies being, used, good, whatever.
I feel like their team played the most they just played the most normal, as in like for wager kids. Like they landed peak every game.
Okay. Wow.
And yeah, which is super ballsy.
That's
but
insanely ballsy.
But also at the same time, if the first game or two you make it known that this team is landing peak and other teams are like, fuck that.
Yeah.
There's so much loot at peak for 3 guys uncontested. So I think that really helped them because they had a shitload of money.
So is that how it went down? They landed peak with a couple other teams for the first few games and then everyone stopped?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Like I know they got it uncontested.
That makes sense though. Yeah.
And then it was weird though, like they did that the first 4 games, and then the last game they didn't land peak, which was odd to me. But I don't know. They won, so they're clearly smarter than I am.
They figured it out for sure. Was it was it close up to that last game?
I think there was like 20 points, 15 points difference ish.
It's close
going
enough.
Into the last game. Yeah, close enough. Especially like, you could have a team that was like 10th, and if they drop a big kill game and a win, like the multiplier,
it goes crazy.
Is insane. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was fun. It was super fun to watch.
Yeah, the trios was fun to watch. That was the part that I had seen. Again, I was just watching the Call of Duty stream, but they were swapping back and forth, and I was like, dude, it's amazing watching how fucking fast people die in that lobby. Holy shit, dude. Like
no one
the
misses.
TTK, exactly. The TTK is just insane in these custom lobbies. You're always fucked. Like you can't get shot. It's crazy. Were the loadouts very similar to like a wager loadout? Because that's what it looked like to me. People were using like UGM, fucking Blix or Armaguerra mostly, from what I saw.
Yeah, for the most part, it kind of seemed to be like quite a few teams had snipers. Like I know like Super Evan, Biffle, and Ripoll's. Super Ev was sniping, which was also interesting to me. Because he's disgusting.
Some Gorenkos, right? I saw Gorenkos. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like most teams probably had 2 ARs and 1 sniper, but it all just depends who the team is, I guess, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of fun to watch, the trios one. I don't think they should like do solos events, or if they do, they need to like change the rule setup. Because yeah, everyone running around with riot shields and shit, it is fun to watch because you know there's shit on the line, and it still is like there's still a lot of skill involved, but that kind of skill isn't for most people a super great viewing experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like the quality gameplay is obviously it's not there, but I don't know. I think it's just the fact, like the entertainment factor, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
50 people left and they all have riot shields. It's like, okay, the fuck's gonna happen here?
Yeah, for sure.
But
so anyway, congrats to all those people. Tanner messaged me last night and he said, hey, I've liked 6 tweets. I need you to go over all of them on the podcast tomorrow. And I said, all right, we can do that, man. So let's see what kind of tweets Tanner liked. What kind of tweets do you think Tanner liked? What could he possibly be referring to here? I'm very curious. Well, let's see. The first one is from Rocker Smixy. Change it. And this is a video clip. It's a Twitch video clip. This was on September 6th, which is during the World Series of Warzone. And I think I'm seeing a theme here. I can't imagine what I would do if I got kicked for inactivity in a $100,000 solo game. In the clip is some guy who is moving his character. He's not AFK at all. He's literally moving his character on the screen, but he's not shooting. He's playing solos in a customs tournament. And he gets kicked for inactivity. Did they reset the game, by the way? Of course they didn't. Absolutely not. This has happened to me before too, by the way, where I'm literally moving my character. It's happened like once or twice, and I get kicked for inactivity. Why? Sick game. $100,000 tournament, by the way. So that's fun and exciting. I would imagine you've never gotten kicked for inactivity in Warzone, unless you were literally AFK.
Yeah, not once have I ever. That clip is crazy though. Like, if he was just laying there not moving, sure, I can see it. But he's far from being inactive.
Yeah, exactly. He's like turning around and shit.
Yeah.
I think it just tracks like either whether you've shot your gun or not, or your location on the map. And if you haven't moved, like if you haven't changed locations or shot your gun, it thinks you're AFK, even though he's fucking Borpa spinning on a platform, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't quite understand how they track that, but that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking fantastic.
I feel bad for that guy. I mean, he wouldn't have won anyways, but I mean,
yeah,
that's shitty.
not. But yeah, that's fucking insane. Yeah. So, let's see what other tweets Tanner liked. New York Subliners Aiden. Some of you might know Aiden. I think he's like the highest earner or whatever for Warzone, or up there, most winnings. And he tweeted 21 hours ago, just dev errored before anyone jumped out of the plane in the $300,000 World Series of Warzone while in 4th place. So he was in it. And they aren't going to restart the game. LOL. Normal Warzone things. Smile. Again, I'm beginning to sense a theme here. Activision devs doing Activision things. This is really sad. Because like you said about the last guy, I don't know who he was. He probably wasn't going to win either way. Aiden might have fucking won. But he dev errored, and then they don't restart the game. I don't know if you can restart the game in this kind of lobby, but that just really sucks for him. And also make a better game where people don't dev error. Pretty simple. That would be ultimately my thing. Do you think Aiden would have won the thing?
I mean, they certainly could have. Like, there was a chance, but probably not. Yeah. But either way, if you're, I don't know how many teams get paid out. But if you're in fourth place and you could go from fourth to even second and make an extra $3,000 per person on your team and you dev air, I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So anyway, that's fun and exciting. More issues with Warzone here. So next one, Optic Z-Laner. 300k tournament, and I'm dev erroring after I hit my loadout on the last game. Smile. Interesting. More people's chances being ruined, not by their performance or anything, but by, things of this nature. That's cool, fun, and exciting. And then Z-Laner also added, hey, at Raven, can we please add a reconnect button to Warzone 2? You've got multiple players in a $300,000 tournament lagging out. I understand I'm playing an online game and crashing can happen, but this would at least combat that a bit. And that's the ultimate question, isn't it? That's the big question. Duh, you should be able to reconnect. So I've been playing a game lately called Escape from Tarkov. Some of you may know about this. Some of you may have heard me talk about it. It's a game that's in beta. It's been in beta for 10 years or whatever, but it's in beta. And it is not developed by a multi-billion-dollar company or published by one, such as Activision. In fact, it's a Russian game. They don't have money in Russia. But in that game, there's a reconnect feature. Here's how it works. You're in a raid. You disconnect. Your internet goes out. Cool. Your character is just going to be standing there in the raid. So you can still get killed the entire time you're disconnected. But there is a reconnect button. So if you can reconnect, you're back in, you're on your character. If you reconnect and you got killed, see ya. At that point, it really isn't the game's fault. If your internet goes out, what's the game going to do? And I don't see why they couldn't have done the same for Warzone. Now, like I crash in Warzone, I dev error, whatever. My character should just be standing wherever he DC'd, and it should just let me reconnect. There's no advantage to doing this. This isn't cheesable. Gas is coming. You can still get shot and killed. If you could do all those things, then it would be totally fine and not abusable, as far as I can think. And this is just one of the many features Warzone lacks that speaks to how surprised Activision remains that Warzone is as popular as it is. They didn't bother thinking of a tournament server or a reconnect button or a ranked mode because they just thought this is going to be kind of a throwaway BR in the same way as Blackout. But it is really cringe when you're competing for hundreds of thousands of dollars and you just get fucked by Activision because you dev errored. That's a tragedy. And yeah, I don't know. I obviously don't expect them to add this now. Again, 49 days. But it is unfortunate. And I feel for these guys who had a real chance and they just got fucked by the game. You support a reconnect feature, I would assume, right, Cope?
Yeah. I think they should definitely have it because even, you're just playing with your buddies and you dev air or whatever, disconnect. It's so annoying. Either sitting in the lobby for 25 minutes waiting for your team to either die or win the game, And it's also annoying if you're someone who's playing and didn't disconnect, and it's like, oh, now we have to back out. Requeue, wait for your game to boot up, takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, that doesn't
it's
help.
just
True.
like, it's just so dumb how they don't have it by now. I mean, I hope they do in Warzone 2. They won't, but I hope they do. But yeah, I mean, I would be a big fan of that.
And it's not abusable, right?
No.
Yeah, there's no way it could be.
So.
Yeah. So, and then one more fun and exciting little tweet. One pair of tweets. Rated COD, Rice Price. Change it. Whatever it is, Reese, whatever. Literally in the best spot in the game and get airstrike through a building. Literally devastated. Good night. And we have a piece of media to accompany this. Now, Ted Timmons, let's keep in mind, Ted Timmons said, hey, if there's an airstrike and you die to it in a building, we intend for that to happen. Get away from the windows. Let's see, Ted. Let's watch this clip where one of your professional players gets fucked on in a building to a precision. Let's see how realistic this is. Let's see if this is something Ted supports. So I want you guys to watch this. I want you to watch him lose his opportunity to win this game. And I want you to remember, Ted wants this. He's on record saying, yes, yeah, man, I do want you to die inside a building to an airstrike. Yeah, that's what Ted is saying. Ted wants this following clip to happen. So I'm going to narrate this. It's the 7th circle. He takes a building. He's in the building. He's in the middle of the building. He's not remotely close to a window. Dies to a precision airstrike. Not remotely close to a window, by the way. So I'm going to rewind here. That is the closest window. It is on the opposite wall to where he is. To his left and right are pallets or boxes or whatever, cover. And in front of him, between the closest window and him, is a bunch of boxes too. But Ted wants people to not survive precisions when they are inside of a building surrounded by cover. This is what Ted wants to happen. So shout out to Ted Timmons. Hey, Cope, do you think he should have died to this precision airstrike?
No. I mean, it's fucking disgusting that he did. It's absurd.
Just insane. And this just, again, I mean, this is something Tanner and I have harped on over and over and over and over and over and over again, is we shouldn't be dying to precision airstrikes when we're in a building. If Ted wants to say, look, you can't be sitting in a windowsill, or you can't be like peeking directly out of a window or you're going to die, fine. That's fair. But this, unacceptable. He's so far from windows, and the closest window to him, there's cover between him and that window. You should not be dying to a precision airstrike in here. And if he doesn't get inside here, there's nothing else he can do. I mean, it's too late in the game. So what's the point of even... I mean, he's just supposed to be fucked. And this is what Ted wants. Ted's on record. So it's one insult to die to a precision airstrike while you're in a building. It is quite another for the devs to tell you, yes, this is working as intended. This is what we want to happen. It's just a clown fiesta joke, disaster, nightmare. And this guy just got fucked by it. Fucked by Ted, actually. This is someone getting fucked in an unjust way that the devs intend to fuck him on. So that's awesome, man. And if you think that's how precision should work, good for you. And we also have a message from Tanner. And Tanner quote tweeted this video and said this yesterday. These are the exact type of things I love seeing happen in Activision's largest Warzone event, LMAO. I feel for the people who are on the wrong side of this, but it's great to see all of Warzone's biggest issues continue on the big stage. Spot on. Totally agree. I'm glad that this happened. because it's spotlighting how fucking absurd the developer position is on this. Now, again, doesn't matter so much for Warzone 1. But for Warzone 2, things like this are good because it brings attention to how absurd it is that the devs are saying, yeah, you should die to a precision in a building. And hopefully, things like this getting a lot of traction, a lot of publicity, will dissuade Activision from allowing this to happen for Warzone 2. Do you think you'll die to precision airstrikes inside of buildings in Warzone 2, Cope?
I think you absolutely fucking will, yeah. Hopefully it'll just be less. Yeah. I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, I just hope it happens less. You know, if it happens once every fucking 5 months, sure, whatever. I don't care if I die that way once in 5 months.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
of course.
Like, whatever. You can be mad, but you'll get over it. But when it happens every single time you play the game, especially, I feel like it's, I don't know.
My problem is it's just so random. There are times.
It is.
There are times when I'm right next to a window because I'm forced to be, and I don't die to the precision. And then there are other times where I'm in as good as cover as Rated was there, not remotely close to any windows. I'm in a stairwell, a concrete stairwell, with no windows within 20 feet of me, and I die to the precision. It's just, there is no rhyme or reason to it. It feels actually random. If there's a precision on my building, it's not like I need to get away from the windows or go to them. I have no idea because I've not taken any damage being in a windowsill, and then I've also gotten downed underneath a Kevlar fucking box. So it's like it just doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason. It's so random.
Yeah, I think too. Like some of it is like you know. In like around the map, like you can wall bang one wall that's wooden and then the one right beside it that's also wooden you can't.
Yeah.
Like
that could be playing a role, exactly.
Yeah, and like in that building, like the windows that you can run in and out of, you can obviously like shoot through the window. But the ones up top, they're like white. You know what I'm talking about? They're like a white tint, kind like you can't see out of them.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So, if the airstrike's coming in from whatever, like the mine side of that building, no one knows if you can wallbang that because no one's ever been behind that window that you tried to shoot. But if it's wallbangable and the precision hits right there,
true, yeah,
that's probably like if I had to guess, it's probably why he died.
I think
that
you're probably
window
right.
You could wallbang, and then the precision went through it, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Obviously bullshit, but if I had to guess, that would be probably it. But yeah, sucks to see for that guy because he potentially lost out on money. But
I think you're right.
Like you said, yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because, like you said, it feels random, right?
Yeah.
But
that would explain it though, because there are inconsistently wall bangable surfaces in this game. Like one piece of plywood is super bangable, and then the other piece of plywood right next to it can't be banged at all. And you're like, why is this the case? That's probably what is happening, because that's the best explanation I can think of. It's just like a surface that doesn't appear to be bangable actually is, and the precision goes through it. Yeah. I bet you're right. Get banged. It's fucking terrible.
I just wouldn't have my character in that spot if I was rated, you know? Just don't put your character there, man.
I would just know if the concrete is wall bangable or not. Yeah, exactly.
That's correct. Yeah, just know. Just be a knower.
Yeah, so. On a brighter note, we've got a lot of Call of Duty shit coming up. I just want to remind everyone of the schedule of events that are happening in the future. Call of Duty Next is on September 15th, so that is a week from today, the time of recording. This, for those of you who don't remember or maybe aren't familiar, is the event that's happening like live. I think they're flying people out to it. They are flying people out to it to like reveal a bunch of shit about Call of Duty and what's next. Hence the name. This has not been done recently at all. I don't know if it's ever been done. I'm sure some similar things in Call of Duty's time have happened, but this is going to be like a big to-do, and they have been talking about it and hyping it up quite a bit, and we're going to get a lot of information when Call of Duty Next occurs. And I'll remind you guys of this next week, but Tanner and I will probably also be live streaming Call of Duty Next, watching it. We can all watch it together and hang out. This is coming up. This I'm very excited for. I want to learn more about MW2. I want to learn more about Warzone 2. I want to learn more about DMZ. And we're going to get a lot of details in Call of Duty Next. And that's coming up soon. So we've also got the MW2 beta on PlayStation, the 16th through the 20th. Everyone else, the 22nd to the 26th. Campaign early access, October 20th. And then the video game comes out October 28th. And then Warzone 2, November 16th. So the next big thing on your nativity calendar, eat them chocolates, is Call of Duty Next. Are you excited for Call of Duty Next? Are you you a big news guy?
I don't know if I'm a big news guy, but I'm a sucker for the hype for sure. I mean, hype me the fuck up, right? Get me excited. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep.
There's nothing else to look forward to, so I might as well try to get excited for it.
Yeah. But, yeah. That's the next big thing for sure. What do you expect to see there, or what do you hope to see there that you could reasonably expect to see?
To be honest, I haven't thought about it, but I don't really have any expectations. Like, I don't know. Show me whatever the fuck you're going to show me. Get me excited. Make it good.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. For me, I am actually most hoping for more details on DMZ. That's what I would want to see most. Just because that's the biggest unknown right now. I kind of know what Warzone 2 is going to be like. I definitely know what multiplayer is going to be like. And getting like gunsmith details is going to be cool. Getting weapon vault details is going to be cool. And I'm excited for all of that shit too. But DMZ is what I am most hopeful for, that we get some info on for COD Next, because that's the biggest unknown. And I really want to see what the fuck they're doing there. Because they keep they don't compare it to Escape from Tarkov, but it keeps getting compared to Escape from Tarkov, which is another really fun game. So I really want to see what they're cooking up with that. That's what I'm hoping to get more on. But I don't know if I expect it. I think I do, because it's going to be coming out with Warzone 2, which is October 28th. So we'll see, but that's what's on my list. That's what I want from Santa. So anyway, we got a lot of COD shit coming up. Also, there's another 15-second clip of MW2's campaign. It's been playing on Facebook and Instagram. You can also go to Charlie Intel's Twitter and find it. I'm not going to play it here. I don't know if we'd get DMCA'd for that. And it's not really that big of a deal. But there's some guy, looks like he has a British flag on his, like, vest. And there's, like, a helicopter, and they shoot a building. I don't know. Have you seen this, Cope?
I don't know if I have.
Yeah, it's not I don't know. Just letting you guys know they're dripping out more reveals and content and shit. But the campaign clip, it's nothing very remarkable in my opinion. And then the last thing to talk about here is about the acquisition, the merger. As some of you may know, Microsoft is buying Activision. More precisely, Xbox is buying Activision. And people were concerned, rightfully, about whether or not Call of Duty will continue to be made for PlayStation. Because, obviously, if Xbox owns it, they could just make it exclusive if they wanted to. And then Xbox was saying, like, no, chill, we're going to keep it playable on PlayStation. But now, some guy, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan, most generic fake name I've ever heard, by the way, said that Call of Duty will only be guaranteed for 3 years on PlayStation once the deal ends. So that's interesting. I think this still doesn't mean that much, because all this is saying is that COD will guaranteed be made for PlayStation also for the following 3 years after the deal is done. But that doesn't mean only 3 years. And again, first of all, a lot can change between now and the deal getting done and 3 years after that. A lot can change in the gaming world. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? And that's probably what Microsoft is thinking. They're like, if everything is relatively similar to now, we'll keep selling it even beyond the 3 years. But we're definitely going to we can guarantee at least the 3 or whatever. I would not be worried about this at all. For you PlayStation users, I don't think you need to fret. And it's going to ultimately depend on their math. And are they going to make more money selling consoles by making it exclusive, or selling copies of the game by broadening the market? Seems to me it would be by broadening the game. I would not expect it to not be on PlayStation. But also, even if it does come off PlayStation, you have 4 years of COD. Get a fucking job. You know? That's what I would say. So I'm not worried about this at all. I know you and I, Cope, don't really give a shit about this because PC Master Race, obviously.
That's correct. Yeah.
But if you had to guess, you think COD will ever be Xbox/PC exclusive?
I don't know. I could yeah, I mean, like you said, it really just depends on their bottom line, right?
Exactly.
Whatever is going to make them more money is what they're going to do.
Exactly,
and
yes.
Whatever the market looks like in 3 years is what is going to happen. So
right.
Come back in 3+ years and
we'll let you know.
Figure
for
it
sure.
the fuck out.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. I just don't see it happening. But yeah, like you said, it all depends on the bottom line. So other than that, I think that is it. Cope, anything else you'd like to talk about, man?
No, that's it for me.
All right. So, as I said, short pod, not much going on. The biggest attraction this week was, of course, the World Series of Warzone. Bug-filled disaster as it was. Congrats to all those winners over there. And it is cool to see, to Activision's credit, all of that prize money going to Warzone. That's a big investment into Warzone. It's a big investment into competitive Warzone. And that bodes well for Warzone 2 and maybe a ranked mode finally, which I would expect to see at some point, probably pretty early when Warzone 2 comes out. So we got COD Next coming next week. We got a lot of exciting shit. Keep your eyes on the schedule at the Dropshot Pod on Twitter. But before that, even, reminder, this Saturday, Warzone Roundtable. Cope's coming back. We're going to have other people on. We're going to have an old man and others. It's going to be a fun and exciting Warzone Roundtable. Be there live. You don't want to miss it. thedropshot.com/live on Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And last and most importantly, patreon.com/thedropshot. If you don't want ads, if you want to listen to the podcast earlier than everyone else, and if you want bonus episodes and more, or if you just want to support the program, Patreon's the best way to do it. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Check it out, or go to thedropshot.com. You can find links to our Twitter, our Patreon, our YouTube, everything right there. Cope, thank you very much for joining me, buddy. I really appreciate it. I hope the people enjoyed you as well. Anything you want to say or plug? Do you want to plug your stream? Do you stream? What are your streams? What are your handles? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitch at CopeCowboy, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right? All right.
Yep, all one word.
Fantastic. Check him out. Thank you again, Cope. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And also, as always, remember, stay humble.